Today we're going to be working on a very elegant double page spread where you're actually going to use a happy album kit from Creative Memories, which I had honestly never used before, much less on a 12 by 12 page, but I think you're going to see that these happy album kits are very versatile and you don't just have to use them inside the smaller happy albums. So we are going to have 2 sheets of shimmer cardstock for our base. As I mentioned, a happy album kit where it's going to have a lot of the paper and the ABC stickers that we need inside. We are going to be using the Baroque punch or something similar. If you don't have that, we'll need some adhesives, maybe regular tape runner, definitely repositionable tape runner for when you're using the Baroque punch, a fine tip pen for journaling, scissors, and of course our 12-inch trimmer, which we don't really need too much, but we might need it just to make some titles or some captions. So we won't be doing a lot of cuts other than that. So with that, we're just going to go ahead and get started. I do have some handouts that can show you the instructions as well as the supplies that you need. But if you want to just go ahead and do it with me, let's walk through the steps. So I'm going to move this layout to the side. I've already done it, obviously, but I'm going to make a new one right here with you. So we will be walking through it together as you do your own. But we can use this as an example. So I'll just put this to the side. And what I'm going to do now is get out my photographs. I chose my parents' 50th wedding anniversary dinner because I did want to stay with the elegant theme, but of course a cruise or anniversary or a New Year's, that's, you know, this is when I came up with this idea, was for a New Year's post. But I have a lot of vertical photos and I also have a mix of horizontal photos, so I won't be using all of them, but it's always good to have your pictures printed and ready and to have some options, but these are all 4x6. So the first thing that we're going to do is get out your gold shimmer cardstock. Doesn't really matter if you put which one you put on the right or which one you put on the left. In my original layout, I had silver on the left and gold on the right. If you are shopping on the Creative Memories website, it is probably bronze and platinum that you might be seeing, but any type of metallic cardstock I think looks really nice. I'll put my black cardstock over to the side, and let's go ahead, now that we have this out, let's get our happy album kit and open it up. This is happy album kit number 1. During the last chance sale, Creative Memories was selling all of these fantastic kits that are worth every penny of the $12 that they retail for $5. So that's really honestly what inspired me to even look at them. You can see everything that comes inside. Double-sided paper. I'll be using some of it, not all of it. And some cute stickers, treat yourself, hey girl, hello beautiful, ABCs, numbers. Really nice for $12. So even though it's not 12 by 12, it's a great kit. So let's see which ones we need. We're going to need the ABC stickers. We will be using this cream cardstock. We will need 2 of these black and white stripe ones, like so. We don't get wide stripe paper that often, so when we do, it's nice. And then this sort of pulpy looking paper, I called it a Spargo in the directions. That was the closest thing I could think of. So we'll get those. And then these 2 right here, while cute, are not actually in my layout. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these 3 things, put them over to the side. Okay, so now that we have our stripe paper, I think we will put it on first. So let's put all of this to the side, except for the stripe paper. And we're basically going to take the stripe paper, stick it here, and we're going to take the Spargo paper and stick it here, like so. So that's really all we're doing. It's you want to have enough room to make a title here, so it's going to look something like this. If you are a super precise person, which I am not, you are welcome to measure it out. I tend to want to just get things done and move on, but I know we want it to look good as well. So this is what it's going to look like. So if you want to go ahead and start putting the adhesive on the back of the black and white stripe, let's do that now. I'm going to use my regular tape runner, not repositionable, because I feel like it's, once we stick it down, I'm going to feel pretty good about it. And there's nothing lacy or see-through that we need to worry about. So I'm just going to use my regular tape runner, good old trusty tape runner. Like that. Do the same thing over here. You just kind of want to lay something across just so you have an idea if you're on the right track height-wise. I'm trying to think like people who are more perfectionists than I am. I know I should be. My husband actually catches a lot of things that I do and makes them better, like y'all's handouts. He's caught a few things, so always helps. I just don't ever want to get bogged down with worrying about perfection, because then nothing gets done. But there is something to be said about getting it done nicely and neatly. So all right, so what I'm doing now is I'm putting the adhesive on the back of the Spargo, and I'm going to put it like so. Let me look at my original. Yep, that's about right. Just want to make sure we have enough room for the title here. All right, let's repeat that on the other one. Okay. Line up, make sure your cardstock's lined up with the same amount of space from the edge as on the left. Let's go ahead and get that right. See, I do care. Looks good to me. All right, stick it down. Now, that wasn't bad at all. Okay, so if we look at our instruction sheet, if you've gotten that far, great. If not, just keep sticking down. The next thing we're going to do is to cut out our black cardstock and the cream cardstock. Remember, this is the one that came in the Happy Album kit. We're going to use the Baroque punch and just punch a couple of strips with both of them, and those are going to act as banners, excuse me, on our photo. So I'm going to start with the cream first. Okay, and if you look at that, you'll see there's a little black line right there on these standalone punches. So when you slide your paper in, you want to make sure that your paper is going in right there and make sure it's flush. Okay, so I'm going to push down. All right, and then as I move it along, these little blue patterns serve a purpose. There you go. You make sure it's lined up on top of that, and you're just going to punch all the way down. Otherwise, it won't work quite right. If you look at what comes out of this, some of them actually look like little hooves. So I thought about keeping them and making reindeer pages or winter pages, but not today. Today we're just going to work on making these little borders, because we're trying to do this page nicely and quickly. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and get the other side. Again, making sure lined up with the black, get the pattern on top. There we go. Just keep going down. Oh yeah, this is what we will need our 12-inch trimmer for. We're going to want to have to cut these, because some borders actually cut out a border, and some of them you have to use a trimmer to separate them. This is one where we're going to have to use a trimmer to separate them. All right, so here are my scraps. I'm just going to scoot those over to the side. Get out my 12-inch trimmer. That. All right, and let's cut these off. I hope you're keeping up and following along, doing this with me. It'd be fun to have a nice 2-page spread when we're finished, even with the photos on it. But if you don't have the photos, I would still go ahead and cut these banners. All right, so we've got these, and let's do the same with our black. I happen to be fortunate. We may need to do some more of these. We'll see how far it goes. I was fortunate to have a little bit of this really pretty black shimmer cardstock. If you don't, no biggie, regular black, or even maybe a navy blue, something dark will do. So we're gonna do the same thing, make some borders with those. Same thing, matching up with the little black line. I'm gonna actually stand up. It's moving smoothly, but I think I can move a little faster if I stand. There we go. You don't have to put too much weight into these if they're good shape. I'm not really having to push down too hard. It's just easier to stand up. Boom. Okay, push these little scraps over here. Do it again. That might have just been a partial because I had that little bit sticking out, but we're gonna be fine. There we go. All right, and just like we did with the cream cardstock, we're gonna get our 12-inch trimmer and cut these, separate them from the bigger sheet of paper. So you see where that little triangle lines up? That's where it's gonna cut. Good. Put that up here. Do the same thing over here. I love this black shimmer. Of any kind of shimmer. A little more expensive, but it's beautiful. It's worth it. Cut that little guy off. Okay, so while we're finishing up that, I would say don't throw these out because we're going to use these to maybe cut some little caption boxes with. So I'm going to put those over to the side. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is get our photographs, which is why we're here, right? Pictures, memories. Okay, and so the arrangement that I have on the instruction sheet calls for the horizontal photos on the bottom and the vertical photos tipped at an angle up top. I did turn a couple of these 4x6s into slightly smaller photos so there could be, I didn't want to cover up all the paper and the shimmer cardstock. So I did actually cut a couple of the horizontals just a little bit. So anyway, you can do the same. I just think this paper and the shimmer cardstock are so pretty. I don't want to just completely wallpaper them and cover them up. I still want to see them a little bit. Okay, so let's see. This was one of the last things that happened. Mom and Dad getting the canvas, so I'll put that there. This is my favorite photo, so I want to emphasize that one. And that one hanging off a little bit like so. Let's find, see, that one's good. We've got some food pictures. We've got me and Chris. I'm kind of looking for a couple of pictures that it wouldn't matter if I shortened them. Let's see, I could probably make the ones of the individuals smaller, or even Mom and Dad, because there's a lot of space right over here. So I might cut that one, and then I'll see if there's something over here that might be good to cut. I have to decide if I like this one better or that one. I think I like this one better. Yeah, because Dad's a little fuzzy in that one. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cut that. Got that there. And let's see. I hope you are looking at your photos as well and trying to find yours. So don't really necessarily want to put food right there, I don't think. Let's get a picture of Mom and Dad. Well, let's find some of the horizontal pictures that I mean the vertical pictures. There's Dad with his food. Kind of tip that at an angle there. These are things I can kind of cover up a little bit. That's another thing. If you'll look at them, you'll notice that some of them are covered. Do that. Covering the other one. So you can find parts that you're not too upset to lose. Put Mom there. I think I'll put the food more over here. This here. We could put some food here. I think that'll be fine. And then just to make it symmetrical, I want to make sure we get Dad here. Like so. Okay. And one more vertical, which could be, are you having luck with your photos? I hope so. I hope so. Sometimes this is the hardest part. Well, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this one of Christopher here. And how about one of Andrew here? Something like that. Yeah, just like that. All right, so I'm going to cut these two, and then I'm going to start sticking stuff down. So let's go ahead, and if you have your 12-inch trimmer or your personal trimmer, we can do that. Cut this one off on anything that's extra. Okay. Perfect. And the food, I'm sure there's a little bit of each of these that it wouldn't hurt if we sacrificed. Just like so. A baked potato is a baked potato, right? You don't have to see every single inch of it. Good deal. All right, are we ready to start sticking? I think so. All right, so I'm gonna try to keep these within the confines of the paper. Ditto for this one, so I might see about cutting a little bit more of this one off. There's a crease on that photo anyway, so that's fine. Perfect. Good, then it can stay within it. All right, now, I think I see some excess on the tops too, so I'm gonna cut some of those off as well. Just a little bit, because like I said, some of this paper really is pretty and I don't want to lose it all. All right, same thing here. And you can manipulate your photos however you want. I just don't want to cover all of our work underneath up if there's extra space on the photos that we can easily sacrifice. Okay, I like that and that and that and that. All right, so let's start doing it. All right, I'll push these up. We'll do those last. This can extend off the page, off the black and white stripe paper, but I'm trying to keep these interior ones inside the square. Like that. Love these tape runners. They are fast. There we go. Okay, let's do the same thing. Okay, now, let's look at these top ones. There's a cat in both pictures, two different cats, so we don't want to lose that. I also like getting to see the different angles of Mom and Dad's fireplace, but there's the same thing in both of them. So I think what I'm gonna do, maybe, is cut a little bit off the side of Mom's and keep some of Dad's. Yeah, I think so. Let's do that. All right, so there we go. We tuck it in like so. No cats are being covered up. And then this is not particularly important, so I'm going to tuck that under there like so. And I think if you'll look at the handout in the original design, I have it coming from the top to the middle, cascading down. So we'll put Mom up higher and we'll just kind of move down like so. How about something like that? I could probably even cut some of this off, Christopher's, or tuck it behind. We just want to make sure we leave this part open for the title. So since Christopher's underneath, I'm going to start with his adhesive. Just like that. And we'll keep it on the square. Let's get Dad's next. And a little bit higher. And then Mom's is going all the way up to the top. And that does go off like that. Something like that. All right. Let's do it on the other side. I'm gonna have Andrew top, or we can have the appetizers over here, like so. Dad, like that. And, all right, let's see, why don't we do like this? That gets that angle. This is kind of funny. This almost matches my other one because it's got the food. Interesting. Okay, we can cover up water and then put Grandy up here. Something like that. Okay, so this one's at the bottom. Let's go ahead and get its adhesive on first. Keeping it on the Spargo as best we can. That might be. I think I'm going to tilt it in so it kind of symmetric with what's going on the other side, and then these will tilt away. All right. Hope you are doing the same and finding some pictures that are working and starting to get them down on your page with me, because we are about to start with the Baroque fun next. Okay, let's get this all the way up here. And something like that. All right, and if we have to snip a little bit off, it doesn't ever bother me. I do it all the time. Okay, so that is part one of this layout. I'm gonna stop the video, and then we're gonna talk about part two.